Alright guys, we're back for another Dokkan Battle video. Now today we're going to take a look at this very well done post over here on the Dokkan subreddit by Prism Azure. Now if you guys have been following, me and the sub have had a little bit of a back and forth about LR, Kale, and Khalifa, but it's no big deal. I still maintain that they're like too good for this game. Like Kale and Khalifa are way too strong. But I really wanted to make a video on this post specifically because Prism Azure here does a lot of he puts a lot of very interesting numbers down for about how much health a lot of the stages of this super difficult Goku event have. There's some recommended units down here as well. Now I did do a video earlier talking about kind of team building units that would be really good to use for this event. So I'm not really gonna so much talk a lot about the units themselves, but maybe I might talk a bit about some of them. For example, a lot of you guys will know that I'm not really the biggest fan of Tech Vegito Blue. His RNG just kind of gets on my nerves occasionally, but he is incredible for this event. Tech Vegito Blue is amazing for this event. I do think I like LR Vegito Blue better on the event, though, only because the last phase is where things are very difficult against the Int UI Goku. And in that phase, when he super attacks, even if Tech Vegito Blue has supered 2 times every turn up to that point, he's still going to take 370k damage from a super attack. So you have to have items to sustain that. But LR Vegito Blue, he's going to take a lot closer to 250k from a super attack in that final phase. So I really like LR Vegito Blue better on this event, only because the final boss is Int. If UI Goku at the very end of the stage was any other typing, I think Tech Vegito Blue would be better here. So let's go ahead and take a look at this, right? So, of course, as you guys know by now, there's 8 different phases to this fight. It's incredibly long. And we could take a look at some of the numbers. The first phase, 3.8 million HP. That is a huge number just from the first phase alone. And then, notice how quickly, his health really rapidly jumps up. His attack goes up. His super attack damage as well. Here, I want to jump over to the little kind of info he put. Okay, so here, let me give him an upvote as well. So, relatively small guide for the new Goku's Legendary Battle event that dropped in the JPM version. General tips and suggested units. Yeah, I looked through the suggested units, and I definitely agree with a lot of the units he did put down there. So this is what's really interesting to me. So he bothered to quantify the attack stat and HP stat of each phase through extensive testing. So very well done there. Not yet done a post on how defense and enemy attacks work in Dokkan. Want a very quick explanation. Basically take the attack stat of the enemy, reduce it by the amount of damage reduction you have, reduce it by the type advantage / disadvantage multiplier, then subtract your defensive stat to know how much damage you'll take from an attack. All right. And then the way enemy super attack damage works, attacks out of the boss, multiply it by 2.5. Okay. Now this I thought was very, very interesting. So if we take a look at it right here, the final phase, UI Goku, has a 150,000 attack stat, the highest of any boss fight in the game. In Super Battle Road, the enemies have an attack stat around 110,000 for comparison. Now, when he says Super Battle Road, of course, I'm assuming he's talking about category Super Battle Road. I mean, that's quite honestly, I think, very self-explanatory, right? So this UI Goku is essentially the strongest enemy you can fight in the game. So I think Dokkan did a very, very good job with this event because I feel like they made it very challenging, but I feel like it is fair. Because of how long it is, you can cheese it with certain units, which, I might go over just a few of the units in particular as we go on. But, notice how not only does Goku get stronger, but he really picks up a lot of advantages throughout the fight as well. With, right here, at the God level, he becomes able to resist having his attack lowered. Now, I would say that's maybe the one thing I would say I would change about this event is I would say that letting Goku have his attack lowered would be fair. Because that would add a lot more viability to certain units, like, Android 17, Physical Goku Black, for example. A lot of these units that have the ability to lower attack or greatly lower attack, they would be even better. And, especially in that UI Goku phase with how strong he is, I feel like it would really, really pay off if you could lower his attack. Now, The one really interesting thing that we're going to talk about here is that even throughout all of these phases, right? So then he becomes blue, doesn't really gain anything. Then at UI sign right here, he is able to begin dodging here. Let's go ahead and look at the stuff here. So boss is immune to stunning, boss is immune to super attack sealing. I think like definitely the boss should be immune to both of those, because those, like, if you could, it's just against one enemy, if you could stun or seal him, that like cuts the difficulty of the event in half. So definitely don't need that. I would like it if he was able to be attack lowered all the way through the event. This symbol right here is he is able to evade attacks. Both UI Goku Sign and Mastered UI Goku, both of them are able to dodge your attacks, which, you know, can be a bit tricky here or there, especially if you're using the strategy of having the build-up characters, though. I don't think it's really going to be too much of an issue to work around that, because, you know, especially like, let's say you're running Tech Vegito Blue, he has many attacks, so even if one gets dodged, you know, you're still likely to be able to damage UI Goku with one of the other attacks. And then this last skill, UI Goku, only this last phase has this. He disables allies' evasion. Now, that itself right there dramatically increases the difficulty of this event. Like, I've talked about this, but Gogeta Blue, if not for that, would be one of the probably 5 best units you can use on this event, because he has guaranteed crits, which are going to ignore UI Goku and his monstrous defense, right? That's the thing about him. He has such high defense that even the super, like the Vegetos, can't really damage him with counters unless you either A, lower his defense, or B, get a crit, right? So Gogeta Blue being able to bypass that ridiculous defense is going to be very, very helpful. So he'll still be good anyway. But if that 50% chance to dodge that he has at the blue level was able to be activated, Gogeta Blue would be so good here. Because, of course, any transformation unit, you will get their transformation. It's very, very easy to get any transformations in this fight because of how long it is. So I really like that. The only thing is, I will say that, like, the transforming Goku, Frieza, and Vegeta, they would be a little bit better if they continued to stack even in their final forms, right? Because Goku and Frieza, both of them, they stack their attack and defense on super attack, and then Vegeta stacks his defense on super attack. So, like, that makes them, like, ideal candidates for this stage right here. But, like, once they get to the final form, like, a great chance to stun the enemy. That's amazing. Like, a 70%, let's see, is the actual percent chance down here? Yeah, 70% chance. Like, imagine if this Goku could be stunned. Like, once you get to this form, it'd be over. Like, you'd have him locked down completely. I feel like this Golden Frieza, nah, I don't think he'd be very good in this event, just because he's Tech. Tech units, you're going to run into difficulties in that final stage. Same thing with Goku here. You know, he no longer raises attack and defense once he gets to his final form, although he reduces damage, so he can still be quite helpful. And then we have Blue Vegeta right here. Now, Blue Vegeta, he raises his defense all the way up to his blue form, and he's physical, so I think this character is going to be impressive in this event. I am planning on doing several videos. I want to do a video using a Potara team, and I'm going to focus on having Kefla, Physical Goku Black, and Zamasu lower UI Goku's defense, so I could try and whittle him down with counters. See if we can make counters incredibly effective, right? For Physical Vegito, as well as the LR Vegito units. I think that would work incredibly well. I also want to do a video with the Android team, because there's several units who I think will be able to stack quite nicely in the event, so I definitely want to check them out. And then I'm also going to do one with the Pure Saiyan team. Specifically, I do want to see like how Blue Vegeta would work. I also want to see how Dokkan Fest Kid Goku works. He's another unit that sort of builds himself up and is tailor-made for this event. So let's scroll down, look at general tips right here. Okay, so Goku's defensive stat increases every form as he gets tougher. Thus, units capable of greatly or massively lowering enemy defense are very useful. Critical hits can make you ignore defense. Yep. Units capable of raising attack and defense for 99 turns or raising attack and/or defense each turn they're passive are extremely valuable. Yep. Units capable of transformation are amazing choices. Absolutely. Physical units are the best choices to beat Goku because the hardest form is Int. I agree. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that really, I found that the first, 6 phases aren't really that difficult up to Blue. But once you get to UI, that's where he seems to take a massive jump. Like, you know, just the extra, like, attack he gets from 120,000 to 140,000, it seems to me like that makes a difference in him being able to damage a lot of very good defensive units. So you do have to be aware that UI Goku is pretty strong in this phase right here. That's, again, something you have to be very, very conscious of. And then, yep, final form disables evasion, again, which is a bit annoying. It does, like, kind of cancel out some units who would be very, very good in this event. So let's take a look at some of the suggested units that Prism Azure put here. So LR Kale and Caulifla, yes, they are the #1 unit for this event. I would say no doubt about that at all. No discussion. Trunks, I would actually say, is probably the second best unit for this event. If you guys saw my no item run, you know, using not only his future team, but also his ability in the second form he has to continually stack his attack and defense, both from his passive, which he can get up to 8 turns stack, and then also his attack and defense. It just makes him, even though he's tech, and even if he's at the free dupe level, he will be able to tank UI Goku in the final fight if you prioritize stacking him. Int Goku Black does work very, very well here, because you're very likely to get his transformation, plus he greatly stacks his defense. The LR Fusions are almighty top tier options for this event, because remember, after 6 turns you fall below 50% HP and they full heal you when they fuse. So that full heal is absolutely incredible. Another reason why Kale and Caulifla are the best unit for this event is because you can run them, you can run these two on the same team. It's just so overpowered. You can't really get touched in that event, like with that Join Forces team. Future Gohan finally has an event where he's very, very good in, because, you know, that final phase, Goku is int, and then he'll be able to get up to a 50% damage reduction. Transforming Vegeta, of course, both his Saiyan team, as well as him stacking up defense, and then he's got 120% attack and defense at the blue level, all very good things. The Vegito Blues, we already talked about, both stack. I do think LR Vegito Blue is better for this event, just because he's only going to take about 250k, I believe, from a super attack, whereas Tech Vegito Blue is taking like 375k plus, which is a bit of an annoyance. We have Physical Super Vegito. He, of course, will be able to do a lot of damage. You know, he's not going to do a lot of damage on counters unless he crits, but, like, obviously all of those counters can really add up. We do have this Int Hercule right here. Now, he is one of the better defensive units in the game. If we go ahead and take a look at him down here, I actually did not talk about him earlier in my video, but he has a high chance to evade enemies' attack. Unfortunate, that will not be able to be of any use. It's a 50% chance. And then he also has, he reduces damage between 50% to 90% the less HP remaining. So he'll be very, very strong. For example, you could use him in the Trunks team if you do have Trunks. Remember, Trunks can bring any super type units. If you're going to run the Potara team, you actually could run Hercule as well, because he's an int type unit. I might try that. I might run Hercule on the Potara team just to kind of see how that works. And then, of course, Physical Goku Black, after his EZA, he will be getting 20% attack and defense per orb. He'll be creating rainbow orbs, and he'll be greatly lowering UI Goku's defense. So Physical Goku Black is an outstanding unit. And the last unit I want to talk about, you know, I don't want to spend too much time since I already did this recently, but this Goku right here is another one of these stacking units. Not from his attack, so there is a limit to it, but he gets 77% attack and defense at the start of turn. Then he gets, it's like a slider of up to 59% attack and down to 59% defense, depending upon where your HP is. And then he also gets 1 key and 10% attack and defense per turn, up to a max of 69%. So he is another unit that is very clearly designed for this event. And then he also has his active skill, which when you activate that, every attack he does on that turn will be a crit. So your active skill can be a crit. He supers, it's a crit. If he does an additional, it's also a crit. That's why this Kid Goku is so powerful. So he's one of the top tier options for this event. It's no coincidence that many of the best units for this event, such as Kale and Caulifla, Trunks, Goku Black's EZA, Transforming Vegeta, and also the Kid Goku, like, or we didn't even talk about them, but the Tech Caulifla and the SCR Kale, all of those units are brand new. They're just, like, you know, sort of brand new units that have been released recently that would basically be able to do the specialized things for this event. So if you're having trouble with this event, I wouldn't really be too concerned about it because there is no end date on it. And keep in mind that like when Super Battle Road first came out, it was incredibly difficult to beat it. Very, very difficult. Like even I was only able to beat one stage the first day, right? But then like think of how like easy a lot of these stages have become as super powerful units have released. So they're gonna keep releasing units like this Tech Trunks down here who completely cream pies the event, and then you're gonna be good to go from that point on. So it'll get easier and easier as time goes on. I certainly can say I am hoping that they will include new versions of this event, like maybe one against movie bosses or something, maybe one against Vegeta, maybe one against Trunks. There's several different options they could possibly go with, and I definitely would look forward to seeing them do new versions of this event. So let me know what you guys think about this Goku super difficult boss fight, and I will catch y'all next time. And I'll be doing a lot more videos on this event as well, so later.